Welcome to AI Daily Deep Dive. Just before we get started, a quick heads up. This entire deep dive, from digging up the info to writing this script, all done by AI. Our goal today is simple. Cut through that daily noise. We're looking at 5 key AI stories from July 2nd, 2025 to give you the essential insights. Think of it as connecting the dots. Right, let's dive in. First up, a pretty sharp critique from Vox. Dylan Matthews is looking at the new One Big Beautiful Bill, signed by former President Trump. He argues it's, well, maybe not great for the U.S. in terms of AI and energy competitiveness. What's the main point he's making?
Yeah, it boils down to a big disconnect between the talk and the actual policy. There were congressional hearings just last month about AGI risks, but this bill, it's full of tax cuts, more military spending, and seems to work against U.S. leadership in AI. It tightens work requirements for things like Medicaid and SNAP. The assumption seems to be plenty of jobs, right, when AI automation is hitting sectors like transport and retail hard.
Okay, so there's a potential mismatch there.
Exactly. And maybe even more critical, it gets rid of tax credits for wind and solar. That makes clean energy, the kind AI data centers need a lot of, more expensive. The Rhodium Group estimates maybe a 4–6% rise in industrial energy costs each year,
Wow.
which could definitely push AI companies to look elsewhere. Think China, UAE, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
They might get a leg up. Matthews actually calls the bill an industrial suicide note. Pretty strong words.
Yeah, that's dark. Okay, so shifting gears quite a bit. Our next story looks at the creator economy. CNBC is reporting on AI virtual YouTubers, VTubers, earning serious money. Millions, apparently.
Yeah.
Tell us about this Blue character. Sounds almost like science fiction.
It's a fascinating example. Blue is totally virtual, an AI personality, has over 2.5 million subscribers, and yeah, it brings in 7 figures just playing games online. Now, right now, a human is sort of puppeteering Blue, but the plan is full AI control eventually.
The tech is there for that.
It's getting there fast. Think 11 Labs for realistic voice, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude for the conversation and interaction side. It's all converging. And you've got companies like Hedra, they just raised, $32 million. They're building tools like Character 3 to create these AI video characters easily. This leads to these faceless AI channels, people like Golden Hand pumping out maybe 80 AI videos a day.
80, wow.
Now, obviously, this brings up concerns about, AI slop, low quality stuff and maybe misinformation, but creators argue it's also a new way to be artistic, to express things.
Right, a double-edged sword there.
Yep.
So AI creating content and cash, but what's the hidden cost? Science News asks, how much energy does your AI prompt use? Turns out it's complicated.
It really is. You might hear comparisons like Sam Altman saying a ChatGPT query is like running an oven for a second. But the reality is fuzzier. These large language models, they have trillions of parameters. They need huge amounts of GPU power. It's very energy intensive. Just look at data centers in the U.S. already using about 4.4% of the country's electricity. That's projected to hit 12% by 2028, and AI is a big driver.
So where does the energy actually go? Is it the training?
It's both. There's the training phase, which is enormous, a huge one-off energy cost. But then there's inference. That's every time you actually use the AI, ask it a question, millions of times a day, globally. A study out of Munich University put it in perspective, running about 600,000 reasoning-type questions on a model. That could equal the carbon footprint of flying London to New York and back.
Oof. That's significant.
It is. So if you want to minimize your own impact, maybe use smaller models when possible. Query during off-peak energy hours. Even just keeping prompts concise can help a bit.
Okay, so AI uses a lot of energy. But, and this is where it gets really interesting, there's another side to this coin. New research suggests AI could actually slash global carbon emissions significantly.
That's right. It's a crucial counterpoint. A big study by the London School of Economics and Systemic looked at this. They project AI could cut global greenhouse gas emissions by somewhere between 3.2 and 5.4 billion tons a year by 2035. That's potentially way more than the energy AI itself consumes.
How? What are the big areas?
Well, several key sectors. In power generation, AI can optimize renewable energy grids, making them much more efficient. That alone could be up to 1.8 billion tons saved per year. In food and agriculture, think boosting plant-based proteins, making livestock farming more efficient. That's another 0.9 to maybe 3 billion tons. And transportation, AI managing shared mobility, optimizing traffic flow, could cut up to 0.6 billion tons.
So it's about optimization across the board.
Exactly, making complex systems smarter. Plus, accelerating research, helping consumers make better choices, improving climate models, even helping with emergency response. The potential is huge. But the study really stresses we need intentional governance Policies to make sure we actually unlock that potential.
Right, it won't just happen automatically. Okay, fascinating stuff. For our last deep dive today, we're going from the global scale right down to, well, us, our own minds.
Yeah.
UC San Diego has research using AI to figure out how humans really make decisions. And it might not be how we thought.
Yeah, this is pretty groundbreaking. They're using these tiny neural networks, small AI models, to simulate how humans and animals choose things. Now, traditional models often assume we're trying to make the best, most optimal choice, rational actors, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this AI approach, it shows people often make choices that look suboptimal. But, and this is key, the AI interprets these not just as mistakes, but as actual strategies, deliberate, individual ways of deciding.
So it's seeing patterns we might have just called irrational before.
Kind of, yeah. These small AI models act like a cognitive detective, where they give us a window into the actual internal processors guiding choices, capturing those individual differences. The implications are pretty wide. Could change how we diagnose mental health conditions, how we personalize education, even how economic models work. It's using AI as a lens to understand ourselves, maybe even your unique way of thinking.
So wrapping this all up, we've seen AI tangled up in major legislation, driving new kinds of online fame and fortune, being a big energy user and a potential climate hero, and even helping us understand our own decision-making. Quite a range. What's the one thing that really jumps out to you from all this today?
For me, it's just how multifaceted it all is. AI isn't one thing. It's pushing and pulling in so many different directions, sometimes even contradictory ones. Definitely keeps you on your toes. And with that thought, we'll close out today's AI Daily Deep Dive. As always, we encourage you to keep digging into these developments yourself. Thanks for joining us.